It's Friday night pint, and we're live here. It is just me and Scott. Ryan's out celebrating Valentine's Day with his lovely wife, and Nikki is working. But we have obviously all the West Ham stuff to talk about. It looks like by miracle, Antonio could be back in the side before the end of the season when it looked like he may never play again. So we're going to get into that. And all of the other bits and pieces of news that comes out, obviously reading your comments and stuff like that. It's one of them ones. It's been a couple of weeks, Scott, since we played. And, just sometimes there's not as much news to talk about, but the Antonio stuff is going to be good news.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's been a quiet West Ham week. Not being funny. I like it when it's like that. Means there's no major disasters going on within the club. So, no football. It's good to have football coming back tomorrow. Really looking forward to getting over there. And as I said, this interesting news about Antonio. Back before the end of the season. Will be interesting to see if he can make it. That was quite a severe injury that he had. And
So,
but it will be good. It will be good to see him back if he is back.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I know some of you may be disappointed that it's just me and Scott and there is no Nicky and there is no Ryan. We understand it's tough, like with life. This ain't all of our jobs. We try and juggle this with our lives. And like I said, Nicky's on nights. Ryan, obviously, he's married. He's got responsibilities as a husband. He can't not take his missus out, and he's been very busy lately. We try and do as much as we can do. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully we all got together, didn't we, on Wednesday? We played some darts, we had a laugh, and we talked about
that was a good night. That was, it was a good laugh.
Yeah, you let me down on the doubles, Scott. You let me down on the doubles.
Yeah, sorry, mate. So, hey, look, I helped get us in that position with my big score, didn't I? So,
Yeah, you got a big score. What was the big score, Scott? What was the big score?
When it 50 something, that was our big score.
Big score. People thinking, he must have got 140. Like,
no, definitely not. It's the worst game of darts you'll ever see, but it was good fun. It was good laugh, taking the out of each other. So,
to be fair to us, the darts that we had, we had two heavy ones and one light one.
Yeah,
you throw the two heavy ones, and by the time you get light one, it goes out. Like, you'd used to. It's just really. I'd love to see a bloody Luke Leader or Phil Powder Taylor play darts under those conditions.
Shocking. Exactly. It's not easy, mate. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Roundhouse, if you're watching, get some bloody new darts in. We will be back.
I'll see.
Yeah, like I said, it's and Ryan. We spoke to Ryan. He would come on, but it's Valentine's Day. It's not that. It's hard. It's hard for him in terms of having the time. So it's just for us. It happens to be like the shows that when we're doing shows at the moment, he's busy. So we're gonna try and do more in different days and mix it up. So it just works more for Ryan's schedule, and we can see a bit more of him. Do you know what I mean?
He's coming back. He'll be back on soon. He will be back. It's just as I said, scheduling things, stuff like that. And as we said, we've got a lot going on, all of us. So it's hard for all of us to get together all the time. Ryan was here a couple of weeks ago on FMP. So
he was here.
Yeah, that's it. He's coming back. Don't worry, he's coming back.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just the case. I think Fridays has been pretty tough. Pretty tough for him because he is a very social person. For those who don't know Ryan, he's very social. He loves, socializing. He loves to take happy wife, happy life. You know what I mean? He's all about that. So, like I said, it's a case of looking and seeing if we can do stuff on different dates and things like that.
And for anyone that's interested, Graham is still alive and kicking. He's all good. He's took a step back from the channel. He's got himself a new missus, so he's spending time with her. So Graham will be back soon as well. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
he's not going to be as regular as he used to be.
Yeah, like look, Graham's he's not what you'd call a modern man, Graham, and he was obviously a big part of the channel. But yeah, we roped him in a lot of the time, and he's not technological. We always said we had to get him like carrier pigeon to get messages to him.
That's it.
But what Graham always loved, again, it was the social side of doing it and with your mates and things, you know. So yeah, I tell you what,
there's another one, Steve. Brian's been unwell. I think if you check out his Instagram, he's not been well lately. So I'm sure he'll
I
be back
invited him on.
tomorrow.
I invited him on last week, and he was really ill, Brian. So it's just the timing, like it's the time of year. So you'll have to make do with me and Scott. Sorry, people. But we will have to talk about this. Man City winning their court case against the Premier League rules about sponsorships being unlawful. I did see that. I haven't got to read the full shebang, but it's huge for those clubs that want their owners to pump money in, and bad for the others if you're not going to be one of them clubs. Arsenal are shitting themselves right now. I'll tell you that much. And Liverpool as well are going to be... It's going to be tough for them.
This is the thing, mate. This is where the sleeping giant of Newcastle will be awoken. You know, because if the fact that they've won this saying that the rules are unlawful, the fact that the owners of Newcastle are richer than the owners of City, we could see a dynamic power shift in the Premier League between. Let's be honest, they're going to knock a lot of the big clubs out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, look, Spurs. I mean, I hesitate to call them one of the big clubs, but they're struggling now. They've got no chance. Although there was rumours that the Qataris that own PSG might leave PSG and buy Spurs, which I hope don't happen. Because why don't they buy us? I know people are against it, but why? Why don't we get a takeover? Why it's never West Ham? It makes me sick, mate. We're right for it.
Yeah, we are, and that's the thing is that we are. Look, our fan base, the stadium that we rent. I think, to be fair, mate, that's probably a massive stumbling block on it all.
Mate, if you're a Qatari and you've got that much money, you fucking just buy it like that. It's nothing, and you buy the land. You don't need to fucking. You go right. I'll give you the club. Obviously, that's going to knock a bit of value off. I buy the club off you. Right. I own this club. Now I'm going to buy the stadium, or you do it the other way around. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, everyone's got a price. Like if Sullivan was offered silly money, I see somewhere someone's trying to say, was it on our show or someone said like we're valued at like something over $1 billion. It was on Twitter.
No,
with Sean Whetstone. We're valued at like $3 billion or something stupid like that.
If West Ham owned the stadium, the value goes up to about that. £1 billion.
I don't know. Maybe with the land, but you look at it this way, Everton went for about 300 mil. For West Ham to be worth, I get it. We're in London. We've had Europe and all of this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But to say that we're worth in the billions, when I see what Newcastle went for, what Everton went for, those clubs that are on our level.
Yeah, but that's being sold down. It's not value of what the football club actually is. Do you know what I mean? It's not you're not going to sell the West Ham for $1 billion. It's not going to happen. It's the worth of the revenue that the club, what it owns, that type of thing. That's how you got to look at it. We're in the top 20 of the world's richest football clubs, owners wise. Do you know what I mean?
Owners, for the owners, how much our owners are worth?
Yeah. Our owners jointly are in the top 20.
They've got to be near the bottom, because Sullivan's like what? He's barely a billionaire, isn't he?
But you've got Katinsky, you've got you take in every single owner, every single investor of who owns shares in the club. We're inside the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, Randy's saying the valuation they would take is between 800 to 1 billion is where they would sell. That's still I look at it, it's mad prices.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You look there, Chelsea, 2 billion.
Still, if you're a Qatari, right? Say you're this Qatari geezer, without a doubt, we will be cheaper to buy than Spurs.
16th richest club. Look at that.
Yeah, but is that by? I don't know if that's by owners or revenue.
I think it's by owners, but that's in the world, Dan. It's in the world.
But yeah, to me, we're going to be cheaper to buy than Spurs. I know like money's no object, but why don't you buy West Ham? There's nothing you can't do with West Ham that you could do with Spurs.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Apart from obviously we don't own our stadium, you buy that, you get, and we've got all that nice land. You could get all of that in there, like which I think is owned by Saudis or something. But I don't know, man. I just think that it's our time. We're right. We are ripe for a takeover.
We definitely are, mate. We definitely are at the right time. Look, the club's not in a great place on the pitch at the moment, but you know, it's it's one of those where if you're looking at clubs to invest in or take over, you know, West Ham's got a big fan base. You know, it's
about Elon Musk. I don't know, like he's so eccentric. Could you imagine? Like it would either be brilliant or it would be disastrous.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's either going to be a car crash or it's going to be brilliant. You know.
Yeah, it's nothing in between. The shit he would do in the stadium, like you'd have robots pouring pints and that. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, though, if you do get robots pouring pints, it'll be a lot fresher than the pints we get at a minute.
Yeah. See, this is actually a little side. Look, we are jumping around a bit, but bear with us. We'll get into the Antonio stuff. So Sullivan has sold his home in Marylebone. I don't know if this means anything, but it can mean. I mean, I don't know. Like, what could it mean? He's just trying to get as much cash, or he's moving, or what? Like,
mate, I think he's just probably setting up to get rid of it. You know, property prices the way they are. You've got to remember as well, come April, the new tax things come involved that the government have brought in. So he's probably trying to sell up now to get ahead of it all.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I look at it. Mate. I wouldn't read too much into it. You know, you've had a lot of wealthy people sell up certain things. You know, it's just basically turning property into cash.
I wish he'd piss off and buy his boyhood club Cardiff, for God's sake. That's what he needs to do. Go and buy bloody Cardiff. But yeah, I just think out of anyone, we should. It is our time. But look, Newcastle, they're gonna if this happens, if it's put its own, they're gonna spend like crazy. Man City will be back like nobody's business. Villa are probably gonna splash even more money. Forest have been trying to spend money, and then we're going to be left in the dust, and then the likes of Arsenal, and then we'll be overtaken and pushed out, and you probably see a new top four.
The thing is, mate, you do need. There needs to be sort of a power shift. You know, you've had a little bit of a power shift with Chelsea coming into it, and then City coming into it, because you know you think before Abramovich took over Chelsea, you know, okay, they were established in the Premier League, but previous to that, they were up and down quite a lot. You know, the money put them in the position that they're in now that he had. You know, their owners now are a bit crazy with their money, a bit more crazy than Abramovich was. You know, it's ridiculous that they've come out and complained because they had to play on transfer deadline night. You know, we only had an hour to try and replace Nicholas Jackson. You got like the biggest squad in the Premier League, mate. You know, if these players, if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, we need to replace our striker with another player, we've got to buy someone," you know, what have you got all them players for in the first place? But also, we've played the last 3 transfer nights on the spin. You know, Let's be honest, mate. We know we were never going to sign players because our owners don't. You know, they don't like doing business in January.
This is it. If they played on a Sunday, they wouldn't have signed anyone to replace him anyway on the Monday. Like, exactly. Let's be real. I do think you shouldn't have games on deadline day, because sometimes they're in them fine wire deals you've got to do. And if you need to contact the manager and he's on the pitch coaching, he's obviously not going to be involved. So there is that aspect I agree with.
And that's the thing, then. You shouldn't have a deadline day when there's on a game day. It's ridiculous because it gives teams unfair advantages, because like you said, you could be sitting there setting up a deal, doing a deal. Someone else can swoop in because you're having to prep for a game. I know there's other people involved when it is doing a deal, but managers should have an input. Managers want to speak to the players. Managers want to do, they want to have some involvement in it. Unless you are Chelsea with that scattergun approach of signing every young player left, right, and centre. And I think they take the mick a bit just complaining. Because as I said, we've suffered it 3 seasons on the spin. And it's just a joke. It's typical. It's the same. It's this big club bias, so to speak. How, like with the FA Cup, you're sitting there. Teams like Tamworth would have got a replay, would have got a big money payday going away, having to travel to the Tottenham Stadium. But they've lost that opportunity because of we're playing too many games to suit the teams that are in Europe. Listen, I know we was in Europe last season and all that, and you are playing a lot more games, but at the end of the day, that's what your squad's for, right? Yeah. And again, the Premier League are favouring, or the FA are favouring the bigger clubs and sacrificing the teams lower down in the pyramid. Well, because they would get these big away days, they would get these big paydays, and you look at them lower league teams. An away day at a stadium the size of Tottenham's, away day at a stadium the size of ours, at Manchester City, something like that, it keeps that club running for a few years. And everything is so based around suiting the needs for the minority instead of looking at the majority of football. It's got to stop. It has got to stop.
Well, you're never going to see us go back to adding replays and all of that again. That's just never going to happen because, the big clubs are already complaining there's too many games as it is because of the injuries. But like you said, there could be a power shift that we'll see what happens with this. I don't think it's going to be great for West Ham, but Man United, you're not going to see them back to glory if this happens.
This is the thing. So I think the summer is, I think we're moving... We're not moving over to this UEFA financial like restrictions. So I think not in this summer. I think the summer after we're moving into like their version of FFP and all that, right?
Yeah, but that's
so this year again. Sorry, mate.
That's more stringent because obviously when you're in Europe, you've got to abide by their things. So the clubs in Europe don't have to abide by the UEFA rules at the moment.
Yeah, but you're going to see again a crazy summer where clubs are selling homegrown players just to make the profit.
Yeah. This is it. But I'm telling you, football's going to go mad. You're going to see the prices of players go through the roof. They're going to have wages going mad. Like the market's going to be a mess. But. We'll see it at the end of the day. The silver lining is the Arsenals, the Man Uniteds, the Tottenhams. They're going to suffer as well, so we can all just suffer together, and we'll watch those clubs do it. But look, just on the Antonio. If you've clicked on this, you may have seen the picture of Antonio. He's been in Dubai doing like a warm weather rehab training. And he's jogging up and down on his legs, like he's with weight on his shoulders, and you're just like, it's incredible. It was literally 6 weeks ago that he was in a car crash that probably couldn't just end his career, could have ended his life. And you see how bad it was. And now he's in Dubai, running, jogging, working out, and there's a small chance, according to reports. Sean Whetstone and Ex-Employer both reported there's a small chance that he could be back before the end of the season, which would be crazy. And I think if he just to have him back in the squad, I think would be a huge morale boost for the players. Not so much because he's like Ronaldo or anything, just because of the character and for the players to see, wow, like he's back, and he's very popular in the team. So. Yeah, I think that's really surprising, positive news.
Yeah. As we said at the start, mate, it's a big boost. It's miraculous. The fact that I said that he was probably that car crash, he was probably near death. With the severity of the crash that it was. He's very lucky, and it's good to see. It's so good to see him back. Running or jogging, like you said, getting his head, and to have him back, I think that he's coming to the end of his contract. his contract expires. Whether the club will give him another year, we don't know. But if they don't, it would be good to have him back at the end of the season to give him a goodbye that he actually deserves. Because that, as love him or hate him, we've got a lot to thank Antonio for. If this is his last, if this will be him coming back and saying goodbye, and he deserves to have a goodbye. Because he's our record Premier League goal scorer. How many times has he been slagged off? On this channel, we've all sort of said things that he's not good enough, and I've called him our worst player, or worst best player. Sorry, things like that. But the guy has got us out of stuck many a time. Lots of times we're sitting here and we've had a defeat, and we had Antonio, that type of thing. And I said, I wish him a recovery. I want to see him back. And as I said, if they're not going to renew his contract, part of me hopes that they would give him another year. But also, as we were discussing the other night with players and things like that, would the club holding on too long for sentiment's sake? As I said, if it is to be his last year, then let him have the goodbye he fully deserves, and he deserves to have that goodbye.
Well, this is it. Like, to me, if he can come back this season and play, say, a last home game, feature, come off the bench, then that's a good reason to say, okay, he's had his goodbye. We'll end it there. If not, then you think, maybe you would like to see him get. He's on a lot of money, Antonio. That's the thing. He's on about 120 grand a week, roughly 100 to 120 grand a week. So we'd really have to consider that, keep him for another year, because that is like what, 5-6 million quid that we're paying out to keep Antonio on sentiment if he can't contribute to the team. So it would be two things. We'd either have to offer him a lower contract.
Yep.
Because I don't think there's no club out there that at this stage is going to pay him what we're paying him currently. I can't see it. Unless he can just come back at his best. What's that?
There is. Not in this country, but there is. We all know there's clubs out there that pay ridiculous.
A club that would sign. I don't think even they I don't think Saudi would sign Antonio at this stage.
Listen, they took Kurt Zuma with no knees, mate. So they took
him, but let's be honest, they took him on loan, and we're
still exactly. They took him on loan, and they're still paying his wages.
We're still paying some of his wages. So for them, and because it's not just about it being Antonio, but we don't know what Antonio is going to come back like. What level he's going to be able to play? Like, he's not, getting any younger.
Yeah.
So for Antonio, it's going to be I think for us to say, look, we would love you to have a farewell to the fans. We'd love you, but we'll cap you maybe at 80 grand a week or something like that, which is still respectable. You're not saying like 30 grand or whatever. 80 grand a week, one last season, say goodbye, have your thing out, and then go from there. Otherwise, if we just go, well, we're going to extend you on 120 grand a week, that's a hard thing to justify, especially if Potter doesn't feel like he needs him and he's going to fit and he can contribute. Yeah, and again, we just don't know what state he's going to be coming back in.
And that's what we were saying. You can't hold on to players through sentiment. It's good having experienced players around the dressing room. Nicky's very much an advocate of. We shouldn't we hold on to a Bonner too long. Why have we still got Creswell in the job in the squad? Players like that, are not giving youth a chance. And I understand why Creswell is still there. I get it. He's not a first choice starter, but he's experienced. Ollie Scars when the games Ollie Scars has come in, he's done well. But you've seen in games Ollie Scars and Creswell come on together. So you've got that youth and the vibrance.
Creswell's been more playing as a centre back, to be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's out and out left back, I'd put Skulls in front of him. I would.
Yeah. But it's also good for Skulls coming into the squad, having that experience alongside him. It's sometimes that you need that. You need experienced players to get these youngsters through the games to help them grow their experience and grow their knowledge in the game. So I get why Creswell's still there. Look, he shouldn't be there next season. We should now be looking to move beyond that. Same as, Soufal's been a great servant to the club. I think we need to look beyond him now. And the same as we've done with Obona. Obona was a brilliant player for us. He was such a character around the dressing room, such a character. When you see him on social media and things like that, he was great. But it was his time to move on.
Yeah,
and
we have to be a bit.
Now we need to keep going.
I think we do. We have to have a degree of ruthlessness, and
yeah, we do.
Especially under. I don't know what situation this PSR and stuff's going to be. We know like Sullivan's not going to pump a load of his own money in, right? But at the end of the day, finances, we've got to really look at every penny that we're spending. And if we can say we're going to keep Antonio for like another 6 mil a year, is it worth it? Is it going to benefit West Ham, or are we just going, here's 6 mil, Antonio, have a last hurrah?
No, and that's the thing, mate, and that's where the cutthroat business side of it comes in.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're looking at a football club as a business and what is the benefit of that £6 million, if you've got £6 million to go and sign.
Matoma just scored against Chelsea. Sorry, 1-0. What a goal! He just mugged them off. Chelsea losing
against Chelsea. Sorry,
Matoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I just had to fucking give the update. That was unbelievable.
And that's the thing. That's you can't be looking at sentiment. It's this. Look, at the end of the day, football is a business nowadays, whether you like it or not. And you can't be looking at it if he's not got a use to the club. Then you have got to move him on. But as I said, I hope we see him in a West Ham shirt once more to give him that goodbye if it is to be the end.
Yeah. What we should do, I think, is his contract, I think, runs out in June.
Yeah.
So what I would do is say, look, like he can train with us. We'll take him on pre-season, all of that stuff. And then we'll give him the opportunity. If no one comes in for him and it gets to, August, and we're in August, and we looked and Potter can say, do you know what? He's done well in training. He's looked good. We'll bring him back. Kind of like we had to do with Colton Cole in the end, when no one came with him. But it's like if Potter can have that time in training, in a preseason, right, and look at Antonio and go, yeah, like I can use him. He can play a part off the bench. Then I would say give him the new deal. If it's purely just on, we had a car crash and, he's our highest scoring player and he's been here so long, that's not worth spending £6 million for B, where we can put that elsewhere.
And the thing is, you've got to remember as well, mate, is you've got Bowen. By the end of the season, Bowen could be our new leading goal scorer in the Premier League. And he's the new hero to take the forefront of the club. And that's what you need. You need, that is exactly what it is. You're looking beyond now. So Bowen is the new man to take up the mantle. Bowen will become, sooner or later, our top Premier League goal scorer. And it won't be long for we then want to see the next one start coming through. The next player to start pushing up that goal scoring chart and things like that. We've waited so long to have a player score over 50 Premier League goals for us. We got Antonio. Now we've got Bowen coming up, chasing him down.
Yeah. Pateski says, by the way, at West Ham Fantasy, y'all should put up some merch on the store. You link in the description of your vids. We are in the process of rejigging all of our merch and all of that stuff, new merch, and just sorting that out. So look out for that. Once that happens, we will be down there. And Matt asks about moving off Patreon. Will Hammer It Out podcast be moved on here? Yeah, when it's moved from Patreon to memberships, we're definitely going to look at, I think the podcast and all that, and just seeing what we can add on here and make it valuable. It's just it's just a different platform, Patreon, and we're here. We're here. You're here. It makes sense. And that's the thing.
Listen, if this merch, if the changeover to the merch that we're looking to happens, we should have some good stuff coming out. I'm very excited. This gets an upgrade. And this was a good T-shirt. This gets an upgrade, and I'm excited to see the upgrade.
Yeah. No, and the same with the memberships. I've actually already done a lot of work on the memberships, but basically just looking at the tiers, looking at the offers and sorting the badges out, because you get little badges next to your name to if you're a member for like 1 month, 6 months, like when you're in there, and people can see you remember and how long you've been. So yeah, like it just makes more sense. Patreon, I don't vibe with, but I mean, we'd post a video on Patreon and like 13 people would watch it, despite having like again 100 Patreons or something like that. Like, and it's so disheartening. But because people just ain't on Patreon, it's not. You don't go, let me log on to Patreon today, or you got to be checking your email all the time to see like, oh, is West Ham Fan TV? I wonder if they've put a Patreon thing in. People ain't in their emails like that all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hope you. So it's Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you both spent quality time with your significant others, each other. This is it. This is how we're spending Valentine's Day together. Happy Valentine's Day, Scott.
Happy Valentine's Day, mate. That's it.
Did you give me a card?
I ain't done Valentine's for years, mate. Yes.
I got you a box of chocolates here now, but
you ate them. It's the thought that counts, mate. It's the thought that counts.
I thought about it. Yeah, Nikki pouting in the photos. What face always pouting? Nikki?
That's modelling the merch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he loves it, doesn't he? But you see what Paqueta said about Potter, which was, he said basically the trust he gave me from the first day gave me a lot of confidence. The ideas are very clear, organized, simple for us to understand. We understand each other more and can put into practice what he's been asking of us. And I think that's really the comments are really positive. I think what's coming out and what they're saying, all saying the same thing. Because someone said this to me, and they was like, well, the players were saying positive things about Lopetegui, so this means nothing what they're saying. It's like, no, but look at what they're saying. It's what they're saying. When Lopetegui was here, their comments on Lopetegui was about, I'm enjoying the style of football we're trying to play. They was talking about that, having the ball more and getting to play with the ball. That was the thing. They weren't saying, it's really clear what he's asking us to do. Like, he's really completely understood it. Whereas they're all saying that about Potter. So clearly, it doesn't mean they was lying about Lopetegui. They was enjoying the style of football that they was trying to play. And that was early in the season. Yeah. That was probably true. But the ideas weren't getting across. Now, clear, understand what he's trying to do. It shows you how unclear things were under Lopetegui. They're all saying this, and you can see it in Paqueta, how much he's improved, how much a lot of these players are improved. So yes, you can't take it. You got to take things with a pinch of salt, but they're all saying the same thing about Potter, and I think that's massive. I think that's a good sign.
This is the thing, mate. We said Paqueta was one of the big players who really, really dropped off under Lopetegui. And it's since Potter's been in, he's been like a different player. And that's how I look at it. I think, like you said, the comments that he's saying, we've heard with Lopetegui, he's working on one thing and then doing something completely different come a match day, and that would get confusing for the players to understand. But I'm hearing all good things about Potter, and this is it's not usual that you hear all good things coming out of this football club, and it's so good to see, so refreshing to see.
Yeah.
And as we said, a big part of being a manager is you get the players to buy into what you're doing and what you want to achieve. And for me, it seems the players are buying into this. There's a reason why we're seeing this change in that, barring the Palace game. The Palace game was a really weird game. That shouldn't have gone the way it went. But the players seem to be working for each other now.
Yeah.
And it's what we want to see. It's what we as fans want to see. We want to see them pulling their weight. We want to see them giving 100% every game. We weren't seeing that under Lopetegui. We weren't seeing that sometimes under Moyes. But now we're starting to see this. The players believe in what Potter's trying to get across to them and trying to achieve. And this is... I can only see us going one way at the minute, and that way's up. Because, look, let's be honest, I know there's that gap between us and the bottom four, but with the draw Everton getting picking up, and we know that the Moyes in brigade will be, chomping at the bit for Everton to finish above us, so they can say, "Oh, we should have kept David Moyes," forgetting that we were getting battered every week under David Moyes towards the end. It's positive. The club feels more positive now, and I want to see us driving up. I want to see us climbing that table, finishing above the likes of Everton, like we should be. Tracking down. Look, this could be an interesting end to the season. The fact that we could still finish 11th and finish above Spurs and Man United.
Yeah. No, that's it. And it's I was like, fuck for a sec because Chelsea equalised, but it's offside. Unless VR is going to check it. What? Or is it a foul? Oh, it's a foul. They've given it as a foul. The thing is, it's not so much for me. It's not just that they're saying good things about the manager. And that's what people just look at. Oh, they say, what? Saying good things. Of course they're going to say good things. It's just what they're saying. And it is so important that they understand clearly what they're being asked to do. That's huge. They know their roles. They know what their job is. That's half the battle. So... and it's evident because look how quickly we've seen the turnaround. Look how quick it took ages, and from 6 months we didn't see any change under Lopetegui. We didn't see what they were trying to do. They didn't seem to be picking it up because they still didn't get it after 6 months. With Potter, they got it at the start, and it was it was huge. So I'm happy with that. And Paulie says Potter, even having control of transfers, shows he's his own man with his own vision. Yeah, it's interesting because he's still a head coach, but it seems like he has got a major say. He come out and talked about Steidten. Someone asked him, like, well, was he one of the reasons why Steidten's gone? He said, no, when I come in, it was going to be him and Carl McCauley working together. So it was the club's decision to move on Steidten, whereas Potter was willing to work with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think Potter would have forced the issue to get rid of Steidten. I think that was always going to end. I think with Potter coming through the door, to be honest. And
it's one
I think Sullivan was looking for a reason to get rid of him as well.
Yeah, and I trust Potter to have a say in transfers. He's shown he's done well before. It's just like he said, he hasn't got the time. To go around Europe, to go to all these games, to watch the amount of football he needs to watch to make a judgment. So he's delegating to someone like Carl McCauley, who he trusts, to say, right, go and see. And he brings the player to him, and he's like, right, can he do this? Is he what we need? Brighton scored 2-0. It was bounced around in the box. Lovely. Fucking Chelsea going to bottle top four. Chelsea are going to, and they deserve it. Someone said, how did we lose to this Chelsea team? Because they ain't got the ref in their pocket today.
Exactly, mate. That's exactly. And this is the thing that
Welbeck, 2025 scoring against you.
But that's the thing, mate. That was a big part of that result for them. Was the poor refereeing, and once again we're on the end of it. And don't like said like we see there, referee for tomorrow, Darren England. We've not had the best of times under him as a referee, so we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Right, I'm just quickly popping to the toilet, Scott. Take some comments.
Leaving me on my own, mate. That's always a way to do it. But look, this is awkward for me. God, blimey. So Danny Welbeck still scoring in the Premier League. Goes to show that these older players have still got to play the part. So this is all good. I'll tell you, you regulars know how nervous I get being on my own in these shows. So if you've got anything to ask us now, ask away. I've been stood up on Valentine's night. How could Dan do that to me, nipping off just like that, leaving me with nothing to talk about, especially when he was talking about the Chelsea and Brighton. But listen, tomorrow's game is going to be a big game for us. This is Mrs. pulled the internet plug. No, she definitely wouldn't have done that on him. So, but yeah. Let's read some of the comments. Kaz, what's your expectations for Potter this season? I think pushing towards that top 10. As I said, he wasn't my first choice to bring in, I'll be honest. And he's surprised me a bit. I'm slowly coming round to to his thinking. I said I like the things that he's saying, the things that are coming out from the players, and the club seems to be, as I said earlier with Dan, it seems to be on the up. It's now sitting there. You actually want to go to football. Under Lopetegui, under Moyes towards the end, it was becoming a bit of a drag to go over to the London Stadium. But now you're looking forward to it. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting over there tomorrow. It's there's optimism now, where I think under Lopetegui we lost that optimism. So yeah, my expectations for this season, finish 10th. Yeah, I think that would be great. And hopefully finish above Spurs and Man United. That's what I'm looking at. I think we get linked with Callum Wilson all the time. Great player, but his injury record is absolutely shocking. It's what we definitely don't need going forward in our football club. We've had enough of our injury-prone players and the curses that we seem to have with a number 9. Imagine him coming to our football club. It will make it even worse, I think. Tomorrow's score, I said on the preview the other night, I fancy us to win 2-1. I'm quite confident. I still don't think we'll keep that clean sheet, but I think we will have too much. Brentford away from home, not got the best record this season, I believe. I could be wrong, but no, I fancy us for 2-1. Cheers, Matt. Always love the support, mate. His box of chocolates means nothing. He's cheating on you, Scott. It's terrible. He's gone for quite a while. So he's definitely up to saying, can he?
I thought I'd let you sweat a bit, Scott. See how you did. You was like,
I just like the way you didn't even give me no warning. You just dumped it on me. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, but I was like, take some comments. It's a good phone to reach.
I think Dan went to check the chicken this time.
But yeah, you should. But
do you know about this? Do you know about this Di Canio night in Reading, Dan?
I know nothing about that.
No.
I've never heard of it. So that's the first thing. So I can't answer that. But Nicky sometimes just does things, and then we find out eventually. So I can't say yes or no.
That's it. What are our positions in the squad that need addressing?
Well, it sort of leads in saying Potter apparently is prioritising the defence.
I can sort of see that, mate. This is the thing. It needs to be addressed. The defence has been one of our weaker points so far this season. And
that's in a minute. I've got to remember that brings me into another talking point I was going to say about Todibo. But I mean, definitely need a striker. Apparently, we're about to agree a pre-contract agreement with Daniel Cummins from Celtic, young 18-year-old striker. Yeah, but that can't be. That's kind of like a future one. We need the striker, the main man.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The thing is, mate, it is something that does need addressing. But like you said, we're still going into next season. The defence has got holes in it, and we know we need to plug them holes. As we said, Creswell's getting a bit older. Soufal as well.
Yeah,
Mavropanos.
And apparently, Potter. This was another report. Clarence Hughes says Potter just does not fancy Mavropanos. He's seen him, and he don't rate him.
No, and this is the problem. So you're sitting there saying 3 of your main squad defenders need replacing. But we're still the problem is if we privatise the defence to bring defenders in, so you say you're going to ship 3 of those out with Creswell going out of contract, Mavropanos being sold, Soufal moving on. We're still light up top. You're still relying in on Danny Ings, Jarrod Bowen, Fulkrug, because Ferguson's going to go back to Brighton in the summer. So for me, the priority is getting a number 9 that is going to fit the system that we want and be fit and available.
Yeah.
And the defence. They're the 2 things we need to work on. The midfield's fine. We've got enough bodies in the midfield to cope.
I don't know, Scott. I look at it. I think midfield is a big priority because we need legs in midfield. With what we've got at the moment, we need someone that box to box midfield with someone with some pace, some strength, some power, that can drive. I think we
But
need.
but the thing is, though, Dan, if you can't really look to prioritise the midfield because the defence is leaking goals, all of our strikers are struggling. All of our strikers, I said with Antonio, we don't know what Antonio is going to come back. Danny Ings is
He's
struggling
gone.
to get a game.
Well, he's going. He's
Fulkrug,
going. He's out of contract, Danny.
there you go. So that's Ings gone. Potentially Antonio gone. You're then relying on Fulkrug, who's had his injury concerns and hasn't really, he's not got going. And then
we're not going to sign. We're not going to sign more than 2 strikers. We're going to get that. So you got Fulkrug, you got Daniel Cummins coming in, and then you get the main striker, the guy that should be starting. So you sign. So Daniel Cummins isn't going to be a lot of money. He's a pre-contractual agreement. We may have to pay a few $100,000 compensation. Yep. So we're not really paying anything there. So you spend a good bit of budget on a striker. That's the one striker. Yep. You get that midfielder in, right, that I'm talking about, and a couple of centre backs. So we buy 4 players. And then we can sign other players. That's 4 players. If we was only signing 4, I would sign 2 centre backs, a central midfielder, and a striker.
Yeah,
like if we could only sign 4, and I don't think we can only sign 4. And then there's other gems, and we've got the scouting network. But I think we need some legs in that midfield desperately.
No, mate, I do agree with what you're saying with the midfield, but I don't think it's a priority for this year. I think this summer transfer window, the priority needs to be the defence and the striker.
Yeah, but part of the thing is that's led to so much because the defence is looking more organised. In a lot of games, we're getting beat in the midfield still. So
yeah, but look,
they wanted to sign one in January. So clearly, I'm just saying, we can't go through the summer not signing a midfielder at all.
No, I don't.
I'm not talking about priorities. I know you're saying this is a priority. Just because these are priorities doesn't mean we don't.
No, look, if the right type of midfielder is there, it's fine to do it. But you don't want to be breaking the bank to go and sign a midfielder. We need to break the bank to get a striker in, another centre half. I don't think we need another left back, to be fair, but we do need another right back.
But the fact that when Potter come in, we were trying to sign a midfielder for this January shows you the importance that they seem to place on it, because it was striker and it was midfielder. There was a little bit of a mention of a centre back, but those seemed to be the positions. Because what we've got Alvarez, we've got Ward-Prowse back. I have to see when Ward-Prowse's contract they run. We've got Souček.
You've got Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Souček, Rodriguez, Irvine.
Yeah,
and
I'm not comfortable with those, and they're all so different.
And
Soler, yeah, who we obviously he's on loan though. Soler, we haven't. Oh bloody hell, we've got 2027. Ward-Prowse's contract runs out.
So that's what I said. That's why for me, midfield's not the priority. Attack, defence. Them 2 positions. We can make do with what we've got in the midfield.
Yeah, but I don't want to make do, Scott. I want to Potter needs to be backed, right? If you say you give Potter what we gave Lopetegui, right, which is about 150 mil, there's no reason we can't get a quality midfielder from Europe, someone with actually a bit of fucking muscle, a bit of drive, a bit of pace. We need more pace. We need more legs in the team overall. We need more pace up top. We need more pace in the midfield, and maybe on the wings.
Yeah,
obviously, wing isn't a priority. It's not. But if there's because we're not going to sign every signing is not going to be a 30 to 50 mil signing. We're going to get some of those. We're going to get like Daniel Cummins. That's a cheap one, right? That's one where, like Matt said, 350 grand compensation. We're looking at Scottish League. We're going to look at Dutch League. We're going to look at flipping German League, French League. So I just think that if we're going into next season, I don't want us to look and say, oh, fucking look, this is the whole.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be some areas that are weaker than others, but I want us to try and have as much of a complete team as possible that we have the best chance.
Of course, but it's just our big problem for the last 2 seasons has been shipping goals. And like you said, okay, there has been holes in our midfield. We said that at the start of the season. We were playing like a donut.
Yeah.
We just had no midfield. But I think now with this manager and the ideas that he's come across, the midfield has looked a bit more stable. You go back when Mavropanos has played. He's caused us a few ricks and a few goals himself. And this is the thing, cutting out individual errors. That's a big thing that we've had to do. So it's, as I said, if we've got 150 million, then set aside 20, 25 million for a midfielder, spend the rest on the back line and the striker, because there's players there that need replacing.
Well, this is the thing. Like, look, I mean, I think overall our defense has improved. Not to say that we don't need defenders. Look, Mavropanos ain't up to it. To Debo, I'm good with. So a lot of people mentioned Dan Ashworth, and I'll get onto this. To Debo's a question mark, because I think there's a good chance we're going to have to sign him. Right, he's hit the number of appearances for the obligation, so we're going to have to spend about 27, 30 mil on him. Right. There was a report from Clarendon Hugh that they seem to think that we will be selling to Debo to Man United. That the whole so they weren't allowed to sign to Debo because the owners owned both clubs, and both clubs were in UEFA competitions, which ruled them out from being able to sign to Debo. So they seem to think the whole deal was done, that massive conspiracy theory, but we signed to Debo for this season, and then as a way to transfer him to Man United next season. Now, I don't know all about that, but if Man United came in with a bid that either gets our money back or gets us a profit, would you sell to Debo?
No, not to get our money back. Turning a large profit, because the guy's got potential. At the end of the day, mate, any player is available for the right price.
Yeah, of course.
Signing him and then selling him to Manchester United, that I can't see that going through. I think you are right. We have met the obligation that he's played a certain number of games that we need to sign him. So we will probably sign him. But the fact of us signing him and then selling him straight to Manchester United, it is ridiculous. And let's be honest, why do you want to go there? Why do you want to go to Manchester United? What is the big draw nowadays of Manchester United? Oh, they're a big club. Yeah, they were a big club. They've got a big following due to them being such a big club. But are they as attractive as they used to be? Of course not. Listen, they could still nick Champions League football. So I get that draw would still be there to be able to play in the Champions League.
They definitely ain't getting that for next season. They'll be lucky to get any European football.
No, mate, you're right. They win the Europa League. They're in the Champions League.
They ain't winning that.
But you don't know.
They've got an opportunity. Yeah, they've got an opportunity. Yeah, but I'm saying that what I've seen, they're not going to do it. But to me, like you said, to Debo, the potential is there. I'm worried in terms of fitness injuries, if he's going to be up to it. He hasn't played a lot of football this season due to injury.
Of course not. Of course not.
And so for me, it'd be very tempting if they said, like 30 more. If you could say, right, we signed a player, he's a bit injury prone, we can at least get that 30 mil back, and we've got that to spend on someone else. Like, if we should try and push for a profit. But now when he comes back, which I believe he's going to be available in the squad, what Potter said, I'd be looking at him between now and the end of the season. If we see him miss a lot more game time, then I would heavily consider selling him. Like, if he gets injured again and misses quite a big game.
And this is the thing, look, players do get unlucky with injuries, but as I said earlier on, we've had too many players that have had these injury problems. And it's now time that we've got to start either sorting out why these players get injury problems. Antonio, barring the accident, went from being injured so many times a season to barely having any injuries because we got on top of it. He changed his lifestyle. We changed what he was doing.
No, he was better when he was injury prone, let's be honest.
But that's it, and this is the thing. So, look, as I said, mate, every player has the right price. That's how I look at it. For me now, I think once he is back and he is fit, if he plays for now to the end of the season, does good and doesn't pick up any more injuries, then I wouldn't look to sell him because he's got a bright future.
So if we keep to Debo, keeping Kilman, I think is quality and he's been hard done by it.
Yeah,
you've got young Casey coming through.
Yep.
So what you're saying in terms of what else are you trying to say?
You still need to
do in that defense.
I think you look at this end of the season, move Mavropanos on, right?
Yeah, if we can.
Tanibo, Kilman, Casey, bring yourself in another centre half. You know, I think it's. I've seen saying tonight. I think we're after. Is it Webster from Brighton?
Right.
It's Webster. You know, it's bringing in another centre half. Creswell end of contracts up end of the season. I'm happy with Scars and Emerson as our two left backs.
Yeah.
Soufal, I love Soufal.
Contract is up at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it's time to move him, let him go. So bringing another right back, and then work from there. I think Rodriguez should be let go in the summer. You know, he's another one we should look to move on.
It's going to
be. This is it. You know, you've still got the young lads out on loan. You know, Earthy's out on loan. Marshall, Potts. You've got Orford getting more and more game time now, which is good to see as well because he's someone I like the look of. He's someone I can see coming in.
Potter is going to give them all a good look in the summer. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, like so if you look at it right, like I said, the defense, minimum another centre back, another right back.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it, right, if we're signing a centre back, a right back, a striker, then there's no way we haven't going to have money to spend to bolster that midfield, because the midfield is key. Everyone a lot of say that the midfield battle is the most important battle in the game. You know,
but the thing is though, Dan, as well, if you look at moving on Rodriguez, we're going to make a profit on him because we signed him on a free.
Yeah,
so we're going to get a little bit of money there. We get his wages off the books. If Creswell goes, his wages are gone. Danny Ings out of contract. That's a big chunk of money being saved there.
Antonio out of contract. Let's assume he's. So that's 12 million just off of Antonio and Ings.
And that's what I mean. That gives you a lot of more a lot of more money to floating around. So you've got to look at that. You know, look, Evan Ferguson could have a great season, but the manager at Brighton not fancy him, so we could still end up signing him. I think the problem is, we're going into a summer transfer window where a lot of clubs are going to be looking at strikers and looking for strikers. You know, Arsenal will not go another season without signing a striker. I'll be honest. I think if they do that, I think that'll be the end of Arteta.
Yeah,
you know, because.
We won't be in the same market as them for strikers.
Of course not. But that does then inflate prices because you know how it works, Dan. You know, agents leak stories to newspapers. Newspapers then print it, and then the valuation of a player goes up another 5 million because potentially there's another club interested in him. You know, it's one of them. So you've got to. The problem is, I don't think we were never going to sign a striker in January, but we should be doing the work now to look at identify who we want in the summer and get in there early and get the business done early before teams can then go, no, someone else is after him as well. Do you know what I mean? Get it done now. Get it all planned out, ready, and boom, come the end of the season and start talking to the players you want.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the key, is getting that business done early. You know, we did well with that. To be fair, like last season, I was so impressed with how we did that last season. And that's why I was so optimistic. But the problem is we just got the wrong bloody guy.
And that's it, mate. And that's the thing. Now we've hopefully got the right guy. Let's do the same again. Get the business done early.
Yeah, 100%. Dad, I don't know how you sit there and argue with that Palace bloke the other day. He's unbearable. Yeah, I put a clip up on Lawless Live from the event. And we're talking about who has the brighter future, Palace or West Ham. And you watch it, he is completely deluded. He really is. I love him to bits, but D is deluded.
Mate, I watched some of the clip and I do agree. I don't know the guy, but I do agree.
This is the same guy on that show. He said West Ham in a relegation battle, right? Yeah. And then there was a little bit of a gap between. And then the next time I saw him on the show, we was on the same points then. So West Ham, we'd won a game. And I said, okay, so if we're in a relegation battle, Palace are in a relegation battle. And he said, no, because of the form, because we're in better form. And honestly, my head just exploded. I was like, you've got to be shitting me. We're on the same points, but West Ham in a relegation zone battle and Palace aren't, because you've won a couple more games in the last 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that you see what I'm dealing with. But yeah, go check it out, people. Yeah, it's mental. I have so Rich West Ham. So I almost missed that. £2 super chat. Thank you very much, Rich.
Cheers,
Best
mate.
West Ham chat anywhere. Appreciate you, Rich, mate. And like I said, you lot definitely helped make it. We've got a Spurs fan, Tottenham fan here. Do you think Anne should walk, Scott? You're doing well, Scott. Oh, this is obviously when I left Scott in the lurk.
Cheers, mate. Do I think Anne should walk? Listen, it's. I like his style of play, the way he plays, but he is a one-trick pony, and I think that's a big problem. But also, he's not really been backed to an extent. I think Poch, for you lot, wasn't really backed in the end, and that's why he walked away. And it wouldn't surprise me, but it's a breath of fresh air seeing this attacking style of football. But if you can't adapt your style, you're going to get caught out. And I know they've had a lot of injuries and alike, but I think a lot of the injuries are caused by the way he sets his sides up with his high line, especially the way that linos don't give offside like they used to. And so players are doing a lot more sprinting than what they used to, like defensively. I think he was the wrong person, to be honest. But from a West Ham perspective, he's doing a great job with you not being down near the bottom with us.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, should he walk? No, he shouldn't walk, because at the end of the day, look, he's been brought in to do a job. Like Scott said, they ain't backed him. So if they want to sack him, let him get his compensation. He does need to be less of a one-trick pony. He does need to adapt. They have been really hard done by that. The injuries they've had have been atrocious. But
it's terrible.
You're paid a lot of money to adapt and to make the best of it. You can't always just throw your hands up and say injuries, because if you're not seen to be at least trying to find a way to get results in spite of the injuries, well, we're just going to play with and we lose. Well, it's because of the injuries. That's not good enough. But yeah, for Spurs, they're going to, if they're keeping him, back him. I don't see, because I saw a banner that said something like they've had like 16 managers in like 15 years, or the other way around. 15 managers, 16 years, 0 trophies. Like, the turnover of managers at Spurs has been crazy. And I don't see sacking him and then they're just going to go in the merry-go-round. The problem is Levy. And I heard that if they get these Qatari owners, they're going to keep Daniel Levy. That's completely pointless.
Yes.
That's what a waste of time. That's he's the problem.
The crazy thing is, Dan, is when you look at the managers that have been there, Poch walked away because he didn't feel he was going to be backed going forward. Mourinho left, sacked before a cup final. Madness, absolute madness. Because I'll be honest, if Mourinho was there, they would have won that cup final. And this is it. And Conte coming out with the words that he said, and I think there's been 3 managers now of that club that have turned around and said there's this attitude around the club, of a defeatist attitude, of a Spursy, so to speak, attitude within the club, all the way through the club. And managers have come out and said that. So there's obviously a problem there, and the problem has to stop at Levy.
Yeah, 100%. Like, there's a few people talking about like if Charlton's a bigger club than Palace. That'd be interesting. Like, which London clubs? Because I said to him on stage, I was like, "You're not even the biggest club on this stage, mate. Like, you're not even you're like the biggest club in London, and you're up, or you should get off the stage." Because like when you look at it, Fulham have played in Europa League. I don't. When have Palace played European competition?
They probably have somewhere along the lines, mate.
No, yeah, I mean, I certainly don't remember it, but they got to a final, didn't they? Europa League final.
Yeah, Fulham did. Yeah.
Fulham, and they've got to cup final.
I'm going to say Palace are a bigger club than Fulham, just because Fulham got to Europa League final. Palace are a bigger club nowadays. Back in the day, Fulham were the bigger club, but I think nowadays Palace are the bigger side.
But the thing is, Palace have never won a trophy in their entire history.
No. But let's be honest, Fulham do still have a neutral area. Yeah. I mean, they have. I'd say Palace probably have the bigger fan base. Yeah.
I'm seeing they've actually they won the Intertoto Cup, Fulham, in 2002. They've got no trophies, but Charlton. A lot of people are saying for Charlton, 75k record attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Charlton won the FA Cup in 19. So yeah, Charlton. You'd probably, of course, like recent years, Charlton have been out of the Premier League for a long time, but Charlton have have more pedigree.
But someone said it there in the question about Moyes and Everton, whether they're suited, and then someone put about Charlton under Kirbishley. Sometimes certain managers are suited to certain clubs and get the best out of them clubs. And when you look at it, Kirbishley, his record at Charlton, finishing inside the top 10 as often as he did, they gave us a hide in one game from what I can remember, and they've not been the same since he left. And you do see that. And Moyes with Everton, Everton, Moyes left Everton, and they had a few okay seasons, but then they've had a few terrible seasons. Now Moyes is back there and he's getting a tune out of the same players that Sean Dyche couldn't get a tune out of. It's just some people are just suited to that sort of.
I mean, I think it's too early. I think because look, Sean Dyche came in from Lampard and he looked great when he first came in. So I think a lot of time you've got to give it time.
Of course you have. Listen, I'll be honest with you, Dan. I think Ange will be at Spurs next season. They'll replace him with somebody else, and then literally they'll replace him again with Pochettino, because it'll be the typical Tottenham thing. They lost Gareth Bale, they replaced Gareth Bale, could never replace him with Gareth Bale. They've lost Harry Kane. They'll sign Harry Kane back when he's 34. That's going to be coming, and then they'll get.
Wouldn't surprise me. Have you just put him back? What about Millwall? Millwall bigger than Palace? That's an interesting one. West Ham fans to answer.
Big following, mate. There's many countries I've visited around the world and always seen a Millwall fan.
Yeah. Like I said, like for a club that's been in the lower leagues for most of our lives, pretty much, they've got a big following, and they've won a trophy. They won the Football League trophy in 1982. They've got some finals. I mean, it's a shout. It's a shout. So for Palace, they've just sort of been consistently in the Premier League longer than most other London clubs, other than ourselves and the others, the Chelseas, Arsenals, and Spurs. So it's an intro. It would be nice to see some other different London clubs come. I'm a bit bored of Fulham. They come up and down. It's a bit more consistent, but bring back the QPR or the Charlton or something like that.
Different away days. The mad thing is, though, mate, I was looking. I saw an interesting thing on Facebook the other day of when you look at the club's records within the top flight, and West Ham have played a lot of matches in the top flight. I'm sure we're in like the top 15 of clubs that have been in and around the top flight and played top flight games. We've got one of the worst goal differences. I think our goal difference is like minus 342 overall in all the games that we've played. But we've been always in and around the top flight of football, more than a lot of other London clubs have. Barring the likes of Arsenal and teams like that, and Arsenal never, since they got put in the top flight, have never been out of it. So it just shows how big the club is, and that's how you got to look at it. Things like that, everyone. You look at the history of clubs and
Orient
and stuff.
You know what? I was thinking, like, I should have tried to get a bloody ticket to that Orient Man City game, because it's literally one bus from mine to LA, and so
the thing is, mate. But if you talk to a lot of West Ham fans, probably over the age of 50. A lot of them used to go West Ham at home, Orient at home.
Yeah,
no,
when a lot of
Orient to go over the O's.
That's why a lot of them hate us, though. A lot of Orient and Dagenham fans hate West Ham fans because we just go to their games and we're not proper fans of their clubs. We support another team. So a lot of their fans, and I find out is that aren't too fond of West Ham.
I think you find a lot of lower league side fans support other clubs.
Oh yeah,
when you're dropping down to that National League
but you still get a call. Like I've known Dagenham fans that are just Dagenham fans. I've known Leyton Orient fans that are just Leyton Orient fans. and they're hardcore as it comes. But,
My in-laws, my mother-in-law's a Tottenham fan, my father-in-law's an Orient fan. And he's Orient and Orient alone. My brother-in-law's Orient and Orient alone. The missus is Orient and Orient alone. That's it. They don't support other teams. They've just followed the O's and that's their team, and that's what you want. But there are people out there that will go and cheer for teams like Dagenham, but they're West Ham fans.
Oh yeah. My cousins, my uncle went to the the Dagenham playoffs when Dagenham went up to League One. So
I was at the Orient playoff final when they got beat. I was at the Emirates when Orient got it through to the FA Cup against Arsenal. I was there watching them. It's
the thing is, I understand why the fans of these clubs won't be too fond of us, but at the same time, look, if you're not selling out your own allocations, if you're not, we're helping keep your clubs alive.
This is it.
I see a Dagenham fan when he was like, and he was like, yeah, I fucking hate West Ham fans, always coming to our games, supporting us, bro. And I was like, hang on, like we did a charity game to bloody save you. He's like, I would have rather gone under. I was like, bloody hell. Like,
but that's just biting off your nose to spite your face. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is reason.
It's the gatekeeping. It's that. Well, this is the thing. It's ours. Like we don't want, because obviously West Ham fans aren't going to see Leighton in just any random game for the most part. We're going to turn up for the big games. It's like when Dagenham Millwall. I see a lot of Dagenham fans were pissed about the prospect of West Ham fans going to Millwall. Oh, you're only coming because it's Millwall. You only come to this game. You're not going to come to random league game.
But the thing is, and that's it. You've just got to look at it how it is. At the end of the day, you can't. When you're down in them lower leagues and you're moaning about the Premier League and the amount of money that the Premier League's there and it's not filtering through, don't then criticise fans of other clubs who want to come and watch a game of football. You look at it, how many times have you seen go support your local non-league side?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't do that because they don't want us through the door.
Yeah, well, their complaint, I think, is we're only turning up for the big games. We're only turning up for when the bright lights are on, and not to just the everyday game. Do you know what I mean?
But let's be honest, mate. There's West Ham fans that only turn up. Well, not so much there's West Ham season ticket holders that only turn up to the big games.
Yeah.
So it happens. It happens in all walks. It happens with your own faithful, and it's just one of them things. Look, at the end of the day, it's to take a family over to Dagenham, to take a family over to Orient is much cheaper than it is to take a family over to West Ham. So what on that sense of your mate who said he'd rather see Dagenham go under, as me of a father with two young kids, if I can't afford to take them West Ham, so I shouldn't take them football. I shouldn't take them over to go and cheer on Dagenham playing and seeing a bit of football, seeing football at that lower level where sometimes it's a bit more entertaining.
Yeah, and maybe that's how you get new fans, because then your kids might end up loving it and becoming Leighton or Dagenham fans.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. Like I said, you take your kids to football for them to enjoy football. Like I said, you hope that they follow in your footsteps and support the team that you support. But sometimes they might pick up. I'd rather go and watch Dagenham than go West Ham. It does happen, and you can see it. And this is the thing, mate. It's there's a reason them clubs don't like playing when West Ham's at home.
This is interesting. My local team get a bigger support when the international break from the Premiership is on. Now it'd be interesting if they did like a thing where West Ham Premier League play on a Saturday. Yep. Lower leagues play on a Sunday, right? Yep. Like where they have it on different days. So then you might get people going, I'll go see my Prem team on a Saturday and then I'll go local on Sunday. So it's different days and not conflicting.
Yeah. Mate, it used to be, right? Orient, Southend, Dagenham, Colchester, and one other team never wanted to play a league fixture when West Ham was at home.
Was it Ipswich?
No, I don't think it was Ipswich. It might have been Cambridge. I'm not sure.
No.
But them teams never wanted to play a home fixture when West Ham was at home. They'd rather play away when West Ham's at home and play at home when West Ham's away because it affects the game.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And this is the thing. Look, at the end of the day, all football clubs need money to survive. If someone's turning up to 10 games a season to support Dagenham, but they're a West Ham fan, Dagenham fans shouldn't criticise it. Look, you've got your hardcore fans that are there all the time, week in, week out, wind, rain, snow, whatever, they'll follow the club. But there are fans that are fair weather fans. There are fans that will come and support a team and because they want to go and watch a game of football. You know, back in the day when I was younger, mate, I'd watch games of football all the time. You know, because I love football. I enjoyed watching it, and that's just because I love football. So now I just watch West Ham.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes. It's the way it goes, mate. And then Randy mentioned this earlier. I pulled this up earlier where he said about Sullivan. As I mentioned, Sullivan is under the microscope this season. He backed the wrong horse in Lopetegui and needs to back Potter and McCauley with Dan Ashworth possibly. So needs to get the right person. A lot of people are saying needs to get Ashworth in now. Again, like for me, and I said this before, if Ashworth is coming in not to be in charge of recruitment and who we're bringing in, but to sort out the structure of the club, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I just question him from a recruitment standpoint when I see what he did at Man United. Very sketchy, wanting to bring in Gareth Southgate, reportedly, deciding to keep Ten Hag, who ultimately got the sack, and giving certain players new contracts. It's just a lot of sketchy decision making. And I can't say they've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen there. But the Southgate one alone, because I think he played a role in getting Southgate the England job.
Yeah.
So if anything happens with Potter and he goes, right, get Southgate in England, that's my worry. It's just for him. And this is what my Newcastle mate said, great at building a structure. And we need that. So if he can come and do that, then let's get him in. Wrestle as much responsibility away from Sullivan as possible.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course, that's the thing. That Southgate's a bit like Marmite, isn't it? You either love him or hate him. It's for me, he's not. He's look. I wasn't a big fan of his. I think he's the reason. He's part of the reason we got to the finals when we did, but he's also part of the reasons we didn't go on to win them. He deserves a crack at the Premier League again. I think he really does because of what he has done with England. But look, we need a structure. We've said this all along. Structure is a big thing now, I think, in modern day football clubs. You see the structure that Brighton have and the identity that clubs got. A good structure now appearing at Aston Villa, how they do their work, transfer-wise, under the radar, keeping quiet, not leaking things out. That's a big thing for me. Brighton, as we said, spotting the young talents and doing that, having a vision and a plan set out of how you want the club to go and then fitting the managers into the plan, not bringing in new managers, changing the system, changing the setup each individual time, which is a big, big problem. So, look, he's worth going. Like you said, it's a bit worrying if Potter does go in at any point and he suggests someone like Southgate, but the structure behind the scenes, it could be a good thing.
Yes, it's massively important. And, just back on the Cummins thing, apparently Martin Noble is the one spearheading that, which a lot of people ask what Noble does. So it's very interesting that he seems to be still involved in recruitment. There was a lot of talk about him being part of one of the major players that wanted to bring in Kudus, and he was going to France to look at players. And so he seems to have it's just, the waters are very muddy in terms of who's doing what.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with Noble getting involved in this, but the idea if Noble's just off doing his thing and then you got McCauley doing this, like everyone needs to work in tandem. There needs to be unity of going right, not the left hand don't know what the right's doing.
But the thing is, Dan, is that you used to have a scouting network. When Sullivan and that lot come in, they disbanded our scouting network massively. And this is it. You need to have. This is where it comes to having a plan. If you have a plan of the type of players that you're looking for and the type of idea of what you want the football club to go on and do, you get scouts. Scouts who recognise talent. You sit there and say, right, we are looking for this type of player to play in this type of position, this type. And then they go out and do their due diligence. They go out and do their job. You've like I said, with Mark Noble going and looking at Kudus. You know, looking at what Kudus could bring to the side. If you've got a plan in place of what you want to see and what the players you want to bring in, you get the scouts to do the work for you as a manager. That's what they're there for. You know, you say, right, you know, go to Africa, find me the up and coming African talent. Go to Asia, find the up and coming Asian talent. You know, bring them in. Let's get them through the door. Let's get there before other clubs do. You know, because that's what the scouting network's for. That's what you need it to do. You look at the lower leagues going into the Championship, going up to the Scottish leagues. You know, we all know my thoughts on the Scottish league, but going in nicking the talent there.
Van Dijk was from the Scottish league, so you can find good play. Again, that's the quality of scouting, and look at someone and saying, the way we've done things before, Scott, is this agent as a player. Who happens to be one of our tried and trusted agents, offers him to Sullivan, and there you go. That's how it's done. Rather than, because it needs someone there where this person's at the top, they know exactly what they want. Right, boom, we've got this player. This is his profile, and we're trying to go more data driven. It seems now, which seems to have worked before. So we're looking at deeper stats, not just goals and assists, because that seems to be the data that we've just focused on. And that doesn't tell you how they're going to fit into your side, how they're going to adapt to the Premier League, how they're going to fit into your style of play. Because that's how we did things before. Scamacca, Allaire were just scouting goals and assists. Wow, they've got scored a lot of goals. Didn't fit. So we're trying to do something in a better way. And whatever Noble's doing, I just hope he's working in tandem, and it's not just what he's Noble, so we give him free reign. He has to be working. He has to be sort of reporting to Potter and working under that thing. So the structure, I think, still needs to be ironed out a little bit more. And I'm hoping in the summer we can make some more moves to get that solidified, that structure.
Hopefully, mate, and that's what we need. You know, we need structure across the board, top to bottom, a good structure, a good set in place. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone pulls in the right direction. You know, and that's what we need to see. So hopefully, that's what we do see. You know,
100%. Oh, 3-0. Chelsea get battered,
mate. But it still shocks me how we lost to them. It really does.
It did well. Really, really this is it, mate. The standard of officiating is Minter. Is that Minter? Minter. It sounds like when I say his name, I sound like a northerner saying Minty. Minter. It's Minter. 3-0. That is beautiful. Yeah, it's like I said, they ain't got the ref on their side today. And because you saw them, like their finishing is atrocious, Chelsea. They was terrible. And now look, they're just. I knew that Brighton would give them a hiding.
Cole Palmer FC Chelsea are, mate. That's the thing.
Yeah, I love to see it. So look, they're at the stage where they went from title challenging to now probably bottling top 4. That's horrendous,
mate. The thing is, right? This has been one of the most exciting Premier Leagues for a while.
Yeah,
you know the fact that you look at it. You know, all right, Liverpool consistent 7 points clear at the top, but you look at from Arsenal, there's 10 points separate second and 7th. The race for the top 4, Bournemouth is 7th. You get 10 points between them and Palace, and then even down the bottom, you know, you got the four teams that are a little bit cut adrift, but there's 3 points separate 12th and 16th.
Yeah. And you know, like this is the thing, like with Chelsea, what makes it so much sweeter, like the way that they handed out Graham Potter and treated him and acted like and look, it didn't go well under him, but he's this terrible manager. Then they got Pochettino, and he was the problem. Get Pochettino out, and now they've got Maresca in, and he's going to be the guy. We've looked at, trust me, this guy, and now look, it's not gone as bad as it was before, but still with all the backing, it's still just a mess.
Yeah,
and long may it continue, because they can sell all the hotels and car parks and everything they want, but doesn't translate to success on the pitch. And there's no transfer window, so they can't buy their way out of this. So it's going to take a lot to transform them, because they've lost Jackson, who weren't even scoring anyway.
Pochettino was getting a tune out of Chelsea towards the end of the season.
It was. They ended the season really strong.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they didn't just try
Listen,
and build off that.
I work with a Chelsea fan who's a good friend of mine, and he turned around and said the big key for them towards the end of last season is they didn't play. It was an Argentinian midfielder they signed, paid the big money for.
What?
Enzo
Fernandez. Yeah, just picked up a yellow card.
Yeah, they didn't play him, and when he weren't playing, Chelsea looked good.
Do you know what the funny thing is as well? They've just lost Nicholas Jackson, right, to injury. They loaned out João Felix. Why'd they loan out João Felix? What was the point of that?
See that comment just come up. I love that. We're so irrelevant that you're having to come on to a West Ham fan.
Look at this Spurs fan. Like, this is what I'm saying. When Spurs fans talk about trophies, like, it's hilarious. They've got no self-awareness at all. Like, you're going nowhere, mate. You're going absolutely nowhere. We've won a trophy more recently than you. I don't care what you say about the trophy. You was in that competition. You was third in the group. I don't want to hear about COVID or any of this crap. You was third in the group stage, and you got dumped out. Honestly, Spurs, mate, and they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna lose on Sunday to Man United. I'd love it to be a draw. I think the draw is best for West Ham.
Yeah, draw suits us.
I can't see them getting anything, even though Man United are pretty crap. Like, they're not Spurs crap. You know.
And to be fair, mate, we had comments about Spurs. We were joking. We were mucking about. We weren't thinking, but obviously we're that relevant that they need to comment.
Yeah. Thank you for showing how relevant we are by coming. It's such a shame. You know what? Because I feel sorry for, was it Ryman, who's the good Spurs fan we have in here, right? And he watches, and so he's catching strays. Yeah, I feel bad, like really knocking. I shouldn't feel bad ever knocking Spurs, but do you know what I mean? Like, he's a good Spurs fan. And then we have Pete, the poxy Spurs fan.
Yeah.
But listen. It's all rivalry. It's all banner. It's
exactly, mate. It's banner, and that's what we like enjoying. It's just sometimes some fans seem to bite a lot more than others. So it's good fun.
100%, mate. But mate. But no, listen. Like, tomorrow we'll be there for the Brighton game.
Yep.
Fan cams. Hopefully, we're going to find someone we can do post-match pint. It is bloody cold. Bloody cold, and it will probably be an outdoor post-match pint. Was you there? No, it was me, Brian, and Nikki.
I got called into work, didn't I? And then sat 5 minutes in Westfield bloody car park.
Mate, that was probably the coldest post-match pint I can ever remember doing. I was sitting there outdoors, shivering, like literally, like doing post-match pint. So, yeah, I'm going to have to definitely thermal up.
Yeah.
And I gave my hat to Brian because it was the West Ham hat Brian was looking for. And those woolly hats, when you got a bald head, woolly hats don't feel great. Like it's like they slip and slide on your head. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels weird. So Brian was looking for it for everywhere, and he couldn't find it. So I gave him my West Ham hat.
There you go, mate. There you go. See, it's giddy up. You get me an empty box of chocolates, but you give Brian a woolly hat.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That shows you the pecking order. But. Listen, if you all haven't got sick of me and Scott already, and you haven't watched the preview, go and check it out. It's on the channel. So we actually go deeper into the Brighton game. If Ferguson should start.
Brentford game, not Brighton game. Dan, you got Brighton on the mind, mate.
Brentford. Yeah, it's Brighton because they're smashing Chelsea. Brentford. We're talking to that, which Potter actually said, like, he's just assessing. He pretty much said Ferguson's not fit to play a full 90.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just deciding whether he should start or come off the bench. That's going to be the question. So we talk into whether he should even start, whether he does come straight in, and what team we want to see.
Yeah. So Steve WH Bell's comment there, the post-match pint we did with the rats roaming around.
Oh yeah, bloody hell, that was horrible. That. It's so funny. Look, he's mugging himself off here. West Ham in the Conference League is like Spurs winning the Carabao Cup. It's a consolation prize. You're mugging off like the last trophy you've won in the last 30 years. The only trophy you've won in the last 30 years, and you're mugging it off.
A trophy's a trophy's a trophy, mate. In that sense, it's a competitive trophy, not like your Aldi Cup that you've won. You know,
which they were like buzzing off that, wouldn't
listen,
they?
You listen to Arteta. He's won 3 trophies because he's got 2 charity shields. You know, that's nonsense. At the end of the day, it's an official trophy. It's a European competition. You have to go out there and win it. The Carabao Cup is the Carabao Cup's the League Cup. You know, just because you live in a world that is all finishing inside the top 4 is the be all and end all because you're playing Champions League football that you're going to go and get smashed in, week out. Good luck to you. You know, if that's what you want, then go and do that. It's great, you know, because at the end of the day, Spurs are winning sod all in the next 10 years. That's how I look at it. At the end of the day, you have got trophies. Well done.
Yeah.
Good you. But you've got a Carabao Cup in the last whatever many years. And, you know, don't discredit that. You know, don't discredit that. Because at the end of the day, there's people who support football teams that don't get the opportunity to see their team win a decent trophy. So just don't discredit it. Yeah.
Like Spurs.
Exactly. This is it, mate. This is the thing. I just don't get it. Really don't get it. It's this modern...
The thing is, Scott, they have to, and like I said, my mate Deji does all the time, we don't want to win any dusty trophies like the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. They have to downplay the importance of trophies because they don't win them. Yeah, that's the thing.
But
so if you say...
I don't get it, right? Why do you not want to win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup?
But the thing is, Scott, they do. If they won it, they would lose their minds. But they have to downplay the trophies because they know they're not going to win them. So for them, because they get top 4 occasionally, that has to seem more important. That has to seem the be-all and end-all because that's the only thing they can achieve because they can't win trophies. So if they say trophies ain't important, it doesn't make them look like as big as failures as they are for never winning them. So that's why Spurs fans will always downplay trophies because they just can't win them. Yeah. And that's
but this is the thing. This is the short-sightedness of some modern day fans, mate. You know, look, you sit there go look at Arsenal. Arsenal handed Wenger out. Arsenal fans handed Wenger out. It's not good enough. Finishing top 4 is not good enough. You know, winning the FA Cup's not good enough. But they're praising Arteta, who's done exactly the same thing. He's won a FA Cup, and you finished in the top 4
5 years ago. Yeah. And he's and then finishing top 4.
Yeah.
So this is it. Like it's all about agendas. It weren't good enough when Wenger because they just wanted Wenger out. So it weren't good enough. It's good enough for Arteta because he's young, new, and fresh. So it's good enough for Arteta. And that is whatever your agenda is. And for Spurs fans, their agenda is trophies aren't important because we don't win them. If they won trophies, if they won the Carabao Cup 3 years in a row, the Carabao Cup would be the greatest thing you've ever heard of. It would be the best trophy of all time.
But at the end of the day, Dan, if you're sitting there winning the Carabao Cup if you're sitting there not winning, if you win the Carabao Cup 3 seasons of beating the prestige, you've got 3 trophies in your pocket. You're going to start. You're qualifying for Europe. You're pushing in things. You're attracting players because you've got trophies.
What is this? I'm not even a Spurs fan. I'm testing how good ChatGPT is at backing Spurs. Clearly, even ChatGPT can't give an argument in favour of Spurs. My experiment sorted. If that's true, I don't know. That sounds mental to me. That sounds mental to me. But if that's true, fair play.
But this is the thing, though, right? This is how important trophies are, mate. Look. As we sat around and said, you look at Mourinho when he first went into Man United, it was important that first season now, he won a trophy. That start of the season, you've got a trophy sitting in front of you when you're doing your team photo. You know, at the end of the day, that's what you need.
Yeah. That's what it is then. Look, whatever anyone says, I got to go to a trophy. We both got to go to a trophy parade, which we was buzzing off, right? And we weren't sitting there worried about the level of the trophy. When Bowen scored that winner, I never stopped to think it's only the Conference League. It's only the third period. Nothing went through my mind. It was the emotion, the adulation. And it was, I bet Pete's an Arsenal fan, isn't he? He's an Arsenal fan. But yeah, it was that, and when the final whistle blew, I was buzzing. It was nothing to do. I never stopped to think, do you know what I mean? Because you just enjoy it, and it was the same if it was the Carabao. If it was the Carabao, I would not stop to think, it's the Carabao, it's the BT.
And that's it, mate. You wouldn't think that, because you don't think that. At the end of the day, you've competed in a competition, a proper competition, and at the end of the day, you've gone on to win that trophy. You are the best team in that competition, and that's what we want to see. I'd love to go back again and win the Conference League again.
Yeah, mate, 100%. 100%.
It's memories. It's memories that you're always going to have. Winning a proper cup final.
And people don't realise, like, the value. Obviously, look, Conference League gets you qualification into Europa League. Beside it being just a trophy, it also really boosted our European coefficient and things like that, and our points, which gives us more credentials in Europe. Which means when we qualify, we get to go into the weaker groups with the weaker competition in rather because we're seeded higher. So look, there's so much and we still got money off TV, off everything. So look, there's still a lot of benefits besides obviously just the fact that you've seen your team win silverware, lift the trophy. Yeah, mate. Like I said, like teams, there are so many, and that's what I don't get. Like there are teams that try and downplay it that never win anything. Like when I see like a Bournemouth fan or a Palace fan downplay the Conference League, it makes me laugh because they would kill their grandmother.
Exactly. That's what I say. Any fan that ain't won a trophy in a long time would have traded places with any West Ham fan that night.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how I look at it.
And we're the only English club so far to win. I swear, if Chelsea end up not winning this, mate, if Chelsea don't win this Conference League.
And I said this to my mate. I turned around and said to him, you lot don't win this, it's embarrassing because they are the biggest team in that competition.
By far. And look at the value of their squad.
Yep.
Match them up against every single squad that they're going against. How much money they've spent on theirs. They spent £1 billion on their squad, and there are squads in that team that probably ain't even worth $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. And it said we've proved it ain't that easy to win.
Rod D's got a question. Where's the best pie and mash shop near the ground? So there was a stall. I don't know if it's going to still be there. The Robins have had a stall, and I heard they were bringing it back at the podium. At the podium bar,
Which is where the Orbit is. For those
the Orbit. Yeah, the Orbit. There is a pie and mash stall inside the grounds now, but I've never tried it. But you've also got the Roman Road. It is a I can't remember the fucking name of it because I've been there many times. G Kelly's, that's it. G Kelly's Roman Road. You can walk from G Kelly's to London Stadium. G Kelly's is really good, but there is. Other than that, it's like stalls around Stratford. It's just stalls. But if you can check if Robins is elite. Robins, but if they're going to be there, in fact, let me quickly check their Twitter for you. Can't beat a bit of.
I ain't had pie and mash near a football ground for a long time, mate. Really haven't.
When's the last time you had pie and mash?
Last time I had pie and mash, probably over a year ago, mate.
Shameful.
I know, terrible.
But yeah, so hopefully Leytonstone High Road. Where's that in Leytonstone High Road? I haven't seen a pie and mash.
Yeah, there's one down there, mate.
Spent a lot of time in those walking up and down that high road. I don't remember it. I remember that one there. And like I said, spent a lot of time there. I'm not saying you're not making it. I'm just curious where that is. But do you reckon it's overrated? Paulie Walnuts, how dare you? Do you actually like pie and mash? No, it's how can you say it's I had that from I was a baby. I was raised on that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
People don't realize it sounds so like simplified when the dish itself, but people don't realize the pie itself, the pastry
Yeah.
is like no other. It's not like simple normal pie. It's this soft. It's called like suet pastry, soft melt in your mouth pastry. You've got the mash itself, no butter and garlic and herbs. It's this pure mash. Then you've got the liquor, right? The parsley sauce, which is with vinegar on it, mate. It just brings it out. It's got that zing. That it's a comfort meal. It's so comforting. And in the winter as well.
Proper old school meal that is, mate. Proper old school.
Like, mate, you have that in the winter. You know, you eat pie mash, you just feel that warmth inside you, like afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, you're making me hungry now, mate. You're making me hungry.
Yeah, I have to get pie out there. Chili vinegar, chili vinegar is the one. Yeah, honestly, it's you can't beat pie mash. Pie mash is dry as Gandhi's flip flop. How can it be dry? It's got big bloody liquor on all over
it.
Like, how be dry? It's like that roast dinner's dry, like when it's covered in gravy. Like, nah, you can't.
I think there's a local one in Debden where I am. That's not too bad there.
Pie mash has got. Sometimes you get these pie mashes and the liquor's like yellowy green, and like if you get it wrong, it's Robin's. To me, I grew up on Robin's East Ham.
Yeah,
best elite pie mash, and Matt's talking about Big John was posting one in Romford. That's a Robin's as well. That's the Robin's that does Stratford. Hopefully they still have that there, but
there's a few of them dotted around, isn't there? I think is there one in Basildon?
There used to be the ones I grew up on was East Ham Ilford.
Yeah,
those were the two. They've closed down. Wanstead.
All right.
I think Romford is that. Was it Chelmsford? Was it Chelmsford or Basildon?
I'm sure there's one. I'm sure there used to be one in Basildon. Whether it's still there, I don't know. I ain't been for a long time.
Maisie's. You know what? I remember hearing that this is the oldest pie mash shop. I weren't that impressed, to be honest. I'm sorry. It was. I thought I was like, let me try this historic Mainzies. That's the fucking oldest pie mash ever. The Goddards and Greenwich is good. Goddards and Greenwich. That's a good pie mash.
There's one on Tower Bridge Road as well. I've never tried. It's always busy, but I've never stopped to try it.
Which one?
Tower Bridge Road.
Oh right, yeah, I haven't tried that.
Yeah, never tried that one.
Roman Road, Kelly's. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's the one I've been to. Yeah, G. Kelly's is great. I'm fussy. If I don't like the look of the tiling, I won't eat it. You have good tiling. You got to have good. I tell you what, what's got good tiling? Yeah, Robin's in Romford because they've moved from the inside to the outside. Beautiful tiling, clean, fresh, mate. You will love it. You will love it, Paulie. Get yourself down there. But Mainzies was in Towbridge. Yeah.
It's still there. There's one still there.
That's the one that's the one. I think it closed down, didn't it?
It's still there, mate. Still there.
What is this? What is David talking about? David, get out. Pie mash, mushy peas, loads of mint sauce. He's got to be a northerner, isn't he? Mushy peas. Mate, do you know it offends me? I know why. When I'm in a pie mash shop and someone comes in and asks for gravy.
Yeah.
This ain't that kind of pie mash.
Pie mash. No, exactly. I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean.
Like, it ain't that kind of pie mash. At least I'm doing all of this. Nah, like, honestly,
mushy peas is only good with fish. It's the only time mushy peas is any good.
Mushy peas just disgust me, mushy peas. But like, I couldn't. Do you know if someone actually got me pie mash, like pie mash, and put gravy on it, I couldn't eat it. It would make me feel sick. I'm not even joking. I can't imagine that pie with gravy on it. Heath. Try Heath Pie Shop, Fiddler's Dagenham. I used to go. There was when I worked in Heathway. There was a pie mash shop in Dagenham Heathway. I used to go for like lunch. And that was good. But that's closed down, so I guess that's not the same one though. Nothing wrong with mushies. Oh look, Borough, isn't it? Mushy peas, disgusting, mate. Like, I don't even like non-mushy peas. And mushy peas it's like baby's food, isn't it?
Oh, mate, I don't mind mushy peas, as I said, so it's fine with me.
Yeah. Do you know, by the way, I don't know if there's any Americans watching, but me going, yeah, like get some pie mash, put some liquor all over it. They're probably going, well, what the hell? He's putting alcohol on his pie and mash. What's going on there? Like they're probably thinking that we're mental. Putting vodka and whiskey on our no, liquor's a past these things.
Yeah, liquor, yeah.
Yeah, they could liquor's alcohol to them, innit? And have some liquor.
Hey, any Americans here, when you come over, you got to try it. You got to try it.
Yeah. Why don't you put some liquor on my pie? What the hell? What the... Yeah. So in fact, pie. They don't have pie like we have pie. Like pie to them is like apple pie and shit.
Yeah. Pie's like dessert, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they have pie like we have pie. So
No.
yeah, we ain't got Roy in the chat or any other Americans, but. Yeah, for those who are watching, they'll be, I think, very, very surprised. Like I said, it's an interesting one. I remember seeing Fornals having the pie mash, and he was loving it. That won me over to him when he ate that, and he was like, "Yo, with the vinegar on, that's lovely." Jelly deals, not interested, mate.
I've had it once. Jelly deals weren't a big fan. That the roll mott. You ever had that?
What, a roll on?
Roll mott, yeah. So like it's fish with onion in the middle.
What's the point of that?
It's just something you had to try, you know.
A pie in the US is a pizza. Oh yeah, the pizza pie. Like yeah, you can have the pie. Yeah, when they call pizza a pie. For me, a pie has got to be pastry with a filling in it. That's a pie.
Yeah,
pizza don't qualify. I put real liquor on my pie mash after winning the Conference League. Oh, jeez. Oh, Borough fans in North America. Wow, there is someone in America walking around in a Middlesbrough shirt. Can you imagine that? That is crazy. Hopefully, you've picked up the fan base. Oh, the pickled. Yeah, them pickled eggs, the jar they have. That's disgusting as well.
Never had that.
I've never seen anyone have it. It just sits there. I never go, I have 2 pie, 1 mash, some pickled eggs, please. Do you know what I discovered like a lot later in life? Like when I was in my 30s, that the bread that they have, I don't know if, but Robin's always had like a box of like little baguettes chopped up. That was, I didn't know that was free. Before you had to pay, I never had it. And my mate one day goes, "Can we just take some of them?" And then we're like, "Yeah," and it was free.
All right, I never knew that.
I mean, I never thought to have bread with pie mash, but you know, I got a bit of the mash, scraped it on the.
Yeah. It's a good idea, really.
Yeah, Dion thought I was mental when she found out I have a mash sandwich. Do you ever do that? Where you have say sausage and mash.
Yeah.
You get the mash, you scrape it on some bread, and you dip it in the gravy.
Yeah, that's weird, mate. That's weird. I'm
You've
with you.
Never done that.
No, I'm with you, Mrs. There. That's definitely odd.
I thought that was she don't know. She's not. I thought that was like, you know.
No, it's just you on that one, mate. That is just definitely you on that one.
Try it. Bit of pepper. Oh, mate. If you haven't tried it, try it.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. So apparently in America they're called pot pies, Dan.
Pot pies.
Pot pies.
I've heard people that want the chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie.
Pot pie. That's what they're called.
So it's the same thing as a regular pie. It's just a pot pie. Fair enough. Did you say, of course, I take my plates up. Yeah, of course, take my plates up. The Robins in Ilford, me and Jace used to go there, and they had this woman. She just wanted you out. You'd still be eating, and she'd be trying to take your plate. Like, peas pudding? No, I hate peas pudding.
No.
Weird shit, mate.
Right, Dan, give me a minute, mate. I've got to go and let my dogs out.
All right, who let the dogs out? All right, well, I was trying to wrap it up now. Oh, he's left me on my own. Oh no, what am I gonna do? So yeah, honestly, that's so you got some weird eating habits. But no one else has done the mash on the bread with the gravy, no. Fair enough. Just me then. All right, said like something. Here it is. You left me.
This is great about doing live thingies when you're at home. You know, your dogs start to go out. You got to let them out.
Oh, when I finally make it over your way, I want to try a sausage roll and an English breakfast. Do you know what is so? When I see videos online, it really makes me realize like sausage roll is an English. Like, don't have sausage rolls in other countries.
No, it's an
It's
English
such
thing.
just a normal thing for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I see these Americans try sausage rolls, and it's like their minds get blown. They're like, "Wow!" like it's such a regular thing here. And yeah, the English breakfast, like breakfast in America, they have like pancakes and waffles and shit, didn't they? Like, it's very sweet type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of artery clogging what they have.
Oh, coming from us who eat full English.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, ours is a savory artery clogging, theirs is a sweet artery clogging. Like, theirs is diabetes, ours is heart disease.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
You know what I mean? Steve's done the mash sandwich without gravy. That's incredibly dry, though, Steve. Just you get it on the bread and then you just lay it in there. Let it soak up that gravy.
I can see the principle, mate. I can see the principle. Just
When's the last time you had mash and gravy, Scott?
Probably October time.
Oh, man, that's a long time. I thought I was going to say, like, I thought it's a regular thing. I was going to say next time you have it.
No,
like,
it used to be. I've changed, mixed it up a bit food wise. So,
all right. Well, next time you have mash with gravy, Scott,
I will try it. I will try it. Yeah.
You know, I want these.
As soon as I can eat properly, mate, I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Scottish breakfast is better than English breakfast. What is that? Just iron brew on a fry up, or is it everything deep fried? Like, they just bacon in batter and beans deep fried. Like, I remember when I found out about the deep fried Mars bar, I was disgusted. I mean, this was when I was a kid. Like,
oh, they're nice, mate. They are. You got to try it. If you never had one, you got to try a deep fried Mars bar.
Like, what do you mean, Scott? It's nice.
You got to try it. You got to try it. That's proper artery clogging, that is, mate. But you got to try it.
I mean, geez. I mean, having like, you know, when you have a fried bread, I ain't had fried bread in years.
Yeah.
Which again, some Americans probably hearing that going, fried bread, like, but that feels like your arteries getting clogged up on the spot. Like, you're at last time I had a fried bread, mate, my heart started hurting me.
Yeah. I'm now looking up what a Scottish breakfast is.
Here we go. Square sausage, tatty scone, haggis. Right. Well,
yeah, you lost me at haggis.
You lost me at haggis. I had one of them. I was like, because I remember when I went to Glasgow, I was
back
like,
in a minute.
What's a tatty scone like? And I think it's some sort of potato thing. It was actually nice. Square sausage. I grew up on square sausages. I preferred square sausages to regular sausages. And I didn't know what the fuck they were, but we had it was like a bag of bread with these square sausages. And I had them. I loved the square sausage. So try, you had square sausages, Scott?
Yeah, I've had square sausage before. It's all right. It's quite nice.
Yeah, like I said, no, I grew up on them. Like, Nan and Granny used to always get the square sausages in, and we would have like square sausage and mash. And yeah, I actually preferred them than your regular sausage. I've never had a square sausage sandwich.
I must admit, the cheaper the sausage, normally the better the sausage. I must admit.
The cheaper, the better.
Yeah.
There you go.
It says a lot, doesn't
it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, So I also want to try an East London bird when I come over. Tired of American women. Try an East London bird. You may regret that. Right. But yeah, so no, listen, mate, it was a good one. Like I said, fucking hell, we've gone nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
It seemed like 1 hour. Yeah. Honestly, I remember it being like just after 1 hour. And then we've got an extra hour talking about fucking sausages and mash and
this is old school Friday night pint where we just talk about random stuff.
Random stuff. Like, we used to an ask us anything thing, and like we'd spend like an hour where people would go, what's its or quavers? And we go, oh hell, you see, you've got You're quaver now.
I think we need to bring that back somewhere along the lines. That we'll have that another night.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do it. And obviously, like I said, we're going to offer a lot of like sort of fun stuff for the members that maybe only people that are members would care about. Like I said, like the hardcore of the hardcore. And but yeah, like listen, Kit Kat or I don't know what twin is, Steve. I don't know.
I
What
guess that means a Twix.
Oh, Twix, Kit Kat. But yeah, like I said, we'll be there tomorrow at the game. Fan cams, hopefully post-match pint, all of that good stuff. Building up. So listen, it's been a good laugh, and hopefully we get 3 points tomorrow.
Fingers crossed. So before we go though, mate, we've got to shout Ronnie Boyce obviously passed away the other day, so our thoughts with his family. Another West Ham legend gone. So sorry to end it on a sad note, but we got that in.
Yeah, no. Echo what Scott said, you know what I mean? So thoughts, like I said, well, hopefully the club play a bit of a tribute tomorrow, and there'll be something there. Where we doing fan cams? By the club shop, Rich. By the club shop.
Yeah,
always.
We will be there in the cold, and we, as we always do, we appreciate everybody that hangs about and.
Fingerless gloves tomorrow, Scott. Remember your fingerless gloves.
Yes, I'm going to bring my work gloves with me because they'll do the trick.
Yeah, guy's been filming the fan cams for nearly 10 years, and he always forgets to bring fingerless gloves in the winter. He's always complains about my hands are numb. So listen, thank you all for watching. Yes. And one thing left to say, mate.
Come on, you irons.